Motors and Meats here. We're back for another episode on the Porsche Basic Maintenance Series, and today we're handling the top hats of the front suspension on the car. Back when I did my Eibach lowering springs on the car, I really should have had these on hand at the time, but I didn't know for sure that I would need them, so I didn't get them, and then whenever everything was disassembled, that was when I discovered I needed them. How do you know you need these? Well, it'll make a clunking sound as you're going over bumps, usually at low speed. Sometimes if you hit a pothole, it will make a loud clunking sound, like the kind that makes you just really cringe. My gravel road, they just finished doing some work on it, so it's got some track marks from the bulldozer that was out there pushing dirt around, and as I'm driving over that, it's just constantly making a little rattle sound. Just something's not tight like it should be. So we're going to replace these top hats along with the bearings, and that should take care of that issue. If you'd like to see a different perspective, click here in the top corner or down in the link in the description to the lowering springs video. And in that one, I basically did it as a time lapse. This one, I'm going to show you each individual step up close. So just a little different perspective might help make things a little bit more clear on what to do. But the same process goes for this job versus the lowering springs. It's just that we're not going to actually swap the springs out. We're just changing out the top hats. For this job, there's a handful of tools that you're going to need. Starting out with a jack stand, a star or some other 19mm wrench to take the lug nuts off, something to hang your brake calipers with, 3 end wrenches including a 16 and 18mm plus a 17mm that's really skinny, a ratchet, several sockets including a 24mm, 18mm, 13mm, 10mm, a 10mm Allen, and a 21mm with a hole in the side of it for your PASM wire. Also, you're going to need a screwdriver, some sort of long narrow punch, and a plastic pry tool. You'll need a set of pliers and a rag to compress your brake pads back. The only specialty tool that you're going to need is a set of spring compressors. And like with any suspension work, you may want to have on hand some persuasion tools like a 2-pound mallet and a pry bar. In typical Motors and Meats fashion, I did something a little out of order. I should not have taken this nut off the top of the shock tower until this point right here. By taking it off while it's still installed, that means that all of the spring pressure is now free to press this top mount up and make it much more difficult for these studs to drop down whenever I release the jack. If I had left this on and released the jack, the whole thing would have just dropped down and swung right out with no problem. Instead, I had to fight it and squeeze and compress the springs, because while I do have spring compressors, there was no way to fit my spring compressors in there while it's installed. So good times, learn from my mistake, do it the right way. So the only thing left to do at this point is to put our new parts on. The old parts just come right off. We have this washer that has these nice notches in it so that you can hold it with a screwdriver while you use an impact to drive this nut back on or take it off. And then our top mounts will just slide right off as well. One little bump, it came right off. So the top mount comes out. If you don't have PASM, you don't have to worry about this PASM wire, but I really like having PASM. I think it's pretty neat. Old top hat gone. The old bearing, let's pay attention to which way it sits. So it looks like the side with the bearings sits down on the bottom and the cap goes on top like that. And there's the bearing. Let's take a look at it and compare it to the old one. It's basically missing a lot of the grease that it should have. It's way too sloppy. And the new one, nice and shiny, all packed in grease, and feels much more solid. It doesn't make rattly sounds as it's moving around. So I'm going to go ahead and stick it back on, along with our new top hat, which slides that PASM wire back through and then right down on top. Now we get to use our spring compressors. We're going to compress the spring, and that's going to allow that top hat to slide down enough so that the threads are exposed and we can get that nut on top. I think there's a couple of different kinds of spring compressors. I like this one. It just uses an impact wrench to thread this down and tighten it up. So let's find a spot we can clip on. And we want to make sure that we can get it onto two different spots across from each other. These use a 24mm socket. So first I'm just going to take the slack out a little bit. We'll get ready to put the next one on. Alright, now you want to apply the pressure on these evenly, so just go a couple of spins and then move to the other side. Threads are fully exposed. This washer has a nub right here that goes into a slot on the side of the threaded post on the top of your shock tower. So it only goes one way. So you put that in there, and now we just want to put our nut back on. And as you saw earlier, we've got our super awesome homemade slotted socket. Yes, they do sell these. No, you don't have to make it yourself, but if you're in a bind, know that you can. And watch out that your PASM wire, when it's spinning, doesn't come back and hit you. I like to go a little bit at a time, just because anytime you're dealing with this much spring tension, things make me stress out a little bit. And there we go. Careful not to fray your wire, especially if you're using the nice homemade version. Now that that's done, back to our 24, and we will release the tension on our spring compressors, because this is now holding it. We've got everything redone, so we're going to rotate this back in, jack it back into place, and start these nuts on top of here. We actually got some brand new ones that came with our top hats. After that, we just finished putting things back together the way they were. Nothing more to it than that. Let's time lapse this other side, and then we'll go take it for a test drive. Now, just like if you were changing out your brakes, you need to pump the brake pedal back up because we squeezed all that fluid out of the lines. We want to pump it back up again before we drive. Otherwise, that first time you go to press the pedal, the brake pedal is going to go to the floor. So let's do that, and I'm going to clean up. I'm sure I have grease on my face. I always have grease on my face. And probably change the shirt. We'll go for a test drive and see how it does. We should be able to tell right away, and I think that we're good to go. They've been doing work on my gravel road. They've had a bulldozer down here putting down new rocks and spreading them around. So they've got all those, really bumpy track marks down on the road, and I did not hear any of that rattling. So I'm going to go to a spot where I know I almost always get a solid clunk sound from the front end whenever I hit this spot, and we'll see if it does it or not. This bridge, as soon as we come off of the bridge, I usually get a clunk right here. Let's see. No clunk. That's it for another episode of the Porsche Basic Maintenance Series. We're taking care of things that are simple to do on the car, things that you should be able to do and save some money by doing it yourself. So subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate you guys, and thanks for watching.